We're recording. There we go. Welcome to another one for Week of Dungeons in Dungeons. Last week, you guys nearly ended friendship with Reed as a Valkyrie murdered the living shit out of all of you guys. But you guys really fought really well, and you probably could have beat her, to be honest. But you experienced a basically optional boss to get as much loot as possible without you knowing. But I could feel the wrath of my players as I'm trying to keep a straight face knowing nothing is wrong and no one's in real danger. But I think we learned a lot last week. I think I learned a lot last week. Why did that go away? Hey. There you go. There we go. Gotta see everybody. So we did all that. You guys boarded the ship in Waterdeep and you met a whole bunch of people. You learned not to talk to the captain, and then a storm came and hit. And your good old buddy Ignatius drew you into a battle you didn't want really anything to do with.
Thanks a lot, you jerk.
My bad.
But you probably bonded over the trauma.
That one is on me.
of everybody getting murdered. So I feel like that brings the group together or really divides you. So we'll find out tonight which way this goes.
Pick up a new guy and you almost get murdered. Like everybody. Like that's
Every time.
That'll teach you. But you also got cool rings out of it, so you can't be
time.
tossed off a cliff and die now. So that's pretty good.
Middle-sized, medium-sized cliffs. Or
Medium?
It's like 60 feet, isn't it?
Is it only 60 feet 1 second?
I thought it was
60
like
feet
120.
per... Oh, no, it's basically featherfall. Okay.
Yeah, it is featherfall.
Okay.
Yes.
It is
Dope, but better.
featherfall.
Because you get Valkyrie wings to protect you.
Dope.
Yes.
So,
It
that's a
looks
pretty big
way
boon.
cooler.
That saves you from a lot of bad guys doing the easy, goodbye now.
I'm gonna jump off of every cliff.
We'll see if your ring ever falls off.
Alright.
Right then. So last we left off, some armors and gears. The rings were handed out to all of you as the Valkyrie Col gave you guys upgrades. Ignatius received his Valkyrie armor from them, which is a +1 armor to whatever you have right now.
Wait, I got armor?
Yeah, you get a +1 armor. Did you not?
What?
Yeah.
You gave me a shield?
Shield and a sword, and also take your +1
sword.
armor.
Okay, I'll
Just take a standard +1 armor for right now.
Yep.
Because you can ask more about it later inside the game. So you got that. Everybody else got the rings, and the Valkyrie walked out saying you guys might have more questions. And I believe I have a little monologue here to start the game. So we'll do that, and then we'll have some fun. Ignatius. The will of the storm has brought you to me. Why'd you pop up? We're just trying to have fun. How about you stop, Windows?
God dang
I can't control it all the time, Reed, alright?
Well, get in line. Alright. Alongside your newfound companions, survival has bonded your group. Despite your brief time together, your fates are now interlocked. Each of you have storms building. You have passed your trial of worthiness. For the storm does not care if you crumble under its winds, for nothing can withstand the storm. Instead, you embodied the storm, showing courage and might in combat against me. For this, I grant you the storm's blessing. Ignatius, she leans closer and puts her arm on your shoulder. When you wish to return, you may use these runes of the storm. Extending her fingers, Cole traces the outlines of 4 storm runes, the same runes you saw to open the gate at the front of the temple. Memorize them, Ignatius. Write them in the air, using the lightning bestowed on you by the storm. Speak your heart and announce, I bring the storm. This will allow you to return to me if your path takes you there. Gesturing outward, she starts walking around up towards the little cutout. There's that square cutout with all those different colors of fire and mist has come all inside this temple where the waters come over the cobblestone workings and stone workings of this entire place. It's not marble. It very much feels like a mountain. Like you're inside a mountain that has been shaped and made into something more beautiful than just a standard chilling in a cave. There's different giant faces where waterfalls are coming out of that they opened up during your fight that are now letting this out. And you feel this calmness over the group that very much echoes the calm after a storm. And you get that wonderful smell that comes with all that as well. She gestures to you, Ignatius, and the group, Her eyes have this dull blue glow to them. It looks like lightning itself is just inside there bouncing around her pupils. Inside the temple, there are many trials to undertake. Each will grant rewards if you can prove yourself worthy. If you wish to embody the storm, it would be in your best interest to pass each trial when possible. Storms are buildings, as others impose their own storms upon the world. Your companions have encountered one of those whose conviction brings upon the winds of new eras down onto the world. Another inches ever closer to his goals, acting as a force of nature himself. Sitting upon his cobalt throne, the storm blows with those who strike the lands with fires of new futures to rise. I believe you and your companions can set new fires across the lands. You have proven your might to me. Your teamwork will follow as your experience grows. Gesturing towards the new items you have, Ignatius. You have my sword, my shield, and new armors of the storm. They will aid you and your companions for as long as you follow the will of the storm. Return to me when you seek aid, be it in guidance or craftsmanship. My sisters have been fallen false destinies, but my path is true. My work remains with the storm forge, and the will. If any, what inquiries do you or your companions have? You are granted my guidance for your excellence in combat. Another reward for kicking her ass. So, Waterdeep crew, what would you like to do?
Thank you for these gifts. I will make sure they go to good use for the will of the storm.
Slight nod.
So, this was just a trial.
Yes, indeed. A trial that each of your storms were brought into here. I don't normally see visitors, nor am granted individuals entrance into the temple, but the will has brought you to me, and thus a trial was set forth. Others are currently undertaking similar trials.
A warning would have been nice next time, but I mean, I guess now we know.
Trials typically don't come with warnings.
I mean, it just happened, and I thought we all died, and I was really sad.
Death does that.
We've seen a lot.
And you will see much more.
Others are undertaking trials.
Say it again. Was that Hunter? Say it again.
What do you mean others are undertaking trials right now?
There are another group that is seeking the will of the storm, aid to try and stop those who are currently bringing the storm. A group that you may have met before stands between trials for an audience with the storm giants. Could be the fates bringing you both here at the same time, or coincidence.
Whoa. We're in the same spot? Is that the same spot that they're at right now? Are we in the same place?
Technically, yes. But the storm is everywhere.
So, like, are they just down the hall to the right, or...
This is Reed laughing, not the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie has no emotion. They are within this plane.
Oh, well, that really narrows it down. Alright. How do we get back?
You simply use the runes Ignatius now knows, and you can leave.
Alright.
Well, that's pretty easy.
Do you think we're ready for any of the other trials?
No.
No? Okay.
I think one was a good start. But if you ever wish to return and try another trial by combat, I would be happy to oblige. And maybe rewards would be in order.
Is there an order of trials, or do you do them in any order?
There are an order. You work from the bottom up. Each level grants you new benefits and boons. As she says this, underneath you, Ignatius, you start to rise as a path of water is bringing you up level to level.
Okay.
And you see different, the green, red, blue, and yellow fires. There's all these different doors that they're either covering them or they're temporarily blinking through them, and you can see 2 or 3 on one floor, 2 or 3 on another floor. You catch glimpses of some. Give me a perception check to see what you might be able to perceive as you're being raised up to the floors.
Let's use green.
That is why you would use a perception check. That was good. Good job.
I play D&D.
Perception?
I'm going to apply for critical role.
16.
16. You catch glimpses of other beings and other people in rooms, just eyes. A little flash of the fire turns one way behind a door, and you can see an individual sitting there with a crystal ball as it shifts away. You go up higher, one shifts, and you can see books, what might be a library, backing into an entire floor for another. And the higher you go, the more complex it looks like the doors are for whatever elements guard them, what runes guard them. You see different etchings, and you can even see golems and different creatures that you don't quite understand their forms, elementals, patrolling different floors and different areas. As you still have that eye of the storm above you guys that has this like trickling mist toward that maze, or that square in the center with all the fires. As you get towards the top, like a water ride, circling around the straight water that went up, another like water slide slides you down all the way until you land into Cole's hand as she helps your hand take a step back onto the ground.
Well, thanks for the ride.
Again, a solemn nod.
Yes. So since we did not defeat you, if we're going to start the trials again, do we have round 2?
You're more than welcome to have a round 2 whenever you desire.
Huh?
Except tonight, because Hunter's in his car.
No.
Metagame.
But is it not necessary for the other trials to be open to us?
It is not. You have passed my trial. You had to show me your
Right.
strength and how far you can demonstrate the storm. And you demonstrated almost to perfection.
Almost.
Almost.
Well, maybe someday we'll take you up on that.
I would like that. It seems the gods watch over each of you in different ways. I see their blessings upon your armors or upon your beings, or the spirits in which you summon. You are caught in something much larger than yourselves, and I do pity peace in which you might wish to have. But the storm's winds always blows, and nature does not care for those that wish to stand still. It's always moving forward, changing life. From the fires that burn down the forests as the ash that help enrich the soil to grow a new one. And I believe many of you will rise to continue to fight whatever new storms appear throughout our world. You're in a very difficult time. Time I have only seen a handful throughout all of creation. And this is another moment in that time.
What is it that the will of the storm desires for us to do?
It is hard to say. You can only take the signs as they appear. You've seen them guide you, and you've seen yourself find places. It does not care for a single goal. It is not motivated like so many of these other gods and goddesses in the world. It is just a will of force. It is the storm itself. And however it continues to give us our powers, that's our service to it, to bring the will.
All right then. Well, I'll do my best to follow it.
Another solemn nod.
All right. Well, everybody okay?
Do you know how we might revive our friend?
Oh, right. Show me.
There are many methods in which you can bring one back from the dead.
We have an orb.
Say it again. Say it again, Hunter. As he's like screaming into his phone, son of a bitch. Try again. The thing might now be turned up too high. Remember where I said it wasn't picking up your voice?
There we go. We have an orb.
An orb. What kind of orb?
Is that this? Do I have that? No, I don't have that.
It's in the bag of holding. I think Tyrion has the bag of holding. Does Tyrion have the bag of holding? Or whatever I give you
I'm
guys?
checking.
Yeah, I'll pull it
Tyrion
out.
does have the bag of holding.
Alright. Tyrion pulls out the orb of Eternal Harmony air. As he pulls it out, you see the Valkyrie sort of just a little gesture. You can hear all the like clinking of the metallic armor, the adamantite armor clinking. As you see her look to the orb, she gestures towards Tyrion and takes it out of his hands, hopefully with his blessing, and goes towards the center, and she puts the orb, like gently pushes it toward the flames that are inside this area. You know, the square box I've been describing constantly, where there's those big like torch sticks and ton of mist obscuring all these different structures in there.
Skyforge, yeah.
What? Yeah. Well, the Skyforge, or not the Skyforge, the Stormforge, damn you, is behind her, inside there. But it floats over and above it. And you see her, see the orb, and she reaches out, and she pushes her hand over the bottom, and you can start seeing the mist start to form like a little portal of sorts over the top of it. And you see her turn to you, Ignatius, and goes, "The storm wishes us to see something." And as the orb is floating above,
Oh, shit.
you can see this mist is formed an image, and they're blurry at first, but is brought into focus. And she turns to you again. "The storm favors our knowledge of events. Observe closely. Determine what the storm wants you to see." Cole waves her hand over the image again as all of you gather around to see what the orb has now allowed you all to see. The vision shifts to a dark layer where there's only a blue orb glowing. It's illuminating all the shadows. And a scrying well sits underneath this blue orb. And you hear a dark figure bellow. "Come and get it, you monstrosity." Mist then obscures the picture, and then it clears, showing a rock tomb. Four king statues the size of giants surround a stone slab. The top of the coffin creaks open, and a red glow shines through. And where you see a glimpse of a red orb before it's locked shut, and you hear and the mist flows out of the tomb, and then flows over again. The mist ebbs and flows to show a brown orb, floating in a room covered in dirt. Walls higher than trees lay out in countless twisting directions, a familiar sight for Charnook. Then the mist finally starts to settle on the final image. Yellow and brown sand dunes cover stone structures across stairs leading to a great engraved door. Symbols of some of you may recognize. On the steps, a confrontation is taking place. Four creatures stand closest to the engraved door, while one creature surrounded by a blur of blackness stands opposed. Although weeks have passed, it is a face none of you will be forgetting anytime soon. Ragnorum is clearly fighting. His long blades clash against the metal wings of a Valkyrie, adorned in the symbols of Crutilla. Gashes over both Ragnorum and the Valkyrie are covering their bodies. Both have their wounds closing with each passing second. Breaking off their crossing blades, you hear a voice for the first time in this vision. "I'll clip those wings!" With a point of his free hand, darkness explodes out on a winged creature. A long-tailed bird flies around the Valkyrie, now fades. Its color and transparency. Metallic claws grab Ragnorum's face, dragging him down the steps, with earth spikes cutting into his back with every step. It's a move you're all very familiar and annoyed with. Another voice calls, "I dispelled your darkness, stupid lizard!" And the darkness fades. From the flying creature you now recognize from the mountain, his companions called him Del. He raises his whip, striking Ragnorum on the ground. The Valkyrie's blood slowly oozing out of the gaps in her armor is kicking at Ragnorum's head. Ragnorum's eyes begin fading from the kicks when his chest gives off a quick low. Catching one of the kicks, he throws the Valkyrie off him. Letting out a bellow, a column of darkness blasts out from the ground under the female Aarakocra. That dispelled the darkness on Del. Lizard folks begin biting her apart. Del and the Valkyrie begin to rush over, but the Valkyrie runs the wrong direction, into Ragnorum and into his blade. Del summons a brilliant beam resembling the shine of the sun, cutting into the pillars. It dissolves, showing an unconscious Tresh. While Del's freeing her, Ragnorum is tearing off the adamantite armor of the Valkyrie. She struggles to fight back. A maddened, feral look is in Ragnorum's eyes. He begins biting into her armor, ripping plates out with his teeth, tossing one to the side, one after the other. Just as the Valkyrie is breaking free of his grip, Ragnorum collapses onto one of her wings, and in one fluid motion, tears a wing off the Valkyrie. Oof. She falls to the ground screaming. Clanking off the floor next to her head, a totem falls next to the Valkyrie. The bleeding stops at her ring, stabilizing her. Tresh, on her feet, again waves her hands, causing vines to grow out of the sand, grasping Ragnorum in place. Other figures rush down the steps to help the Valkyrie. Covered in white cloaks, they pick up the Valkyrie, rushing her up the stairs. The horde begins to flood the area. Fixed in place, Ragnorum's cheeks expand. And out with breath, black and purple fire covers the area. The shrouded figures guard the Valkyrie, but both Tresh and Del fall. Oof. Limping toward the door, the Valkyrie in hand of the only surviving member of the cloaked people. His fur on fire, he shifts his fingers in the air. As a rune hits the door, a small part of the wall opens. He tosses the Valkyrie inside and tries to close it immediately. But some of the horde trickles in after her. The door shuts, with the horde swallowing Del and Tresh. Ragnorum casually walks up the steps, his wounds healing every few seconds. He leans over the large furred creature you all recognize and says, "Now, dear Maze Walker, will you open the door for me?" And the mist fades. You recognize it as a Maze Walker of Air. He appears to be at the Maze Walker Temple of Air, where the orb that you now have is clearly not.
Well, that's a problem.
So, how do you reckon Ragnorum gets from place to place to place, finding where all these orbs are? I mean, he's clearly after the orbs, but I don't understand how he does it.
This was the giant lizard following you guys, yes?
Ah, yes, yeah.
Oh shit! Did you miss any of that, Hunter? Yay!
Hey!
Welcome. But did you miss that?
Can you speak?
Speaking.
Hi.
Speaking.
Hello.
No, not coming through. Hey,
All right, give him a second. But that's great though. Yeah, we got him.
how about this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This- Nothing's coming through. Why?
Hey, wait, that's good effort though. We're only 25 minutes in. That's terrific.
Yeah. Well done, sir.
Wasn't a whole session of Echo McDie.
Well done, lad.
Well done, lad. I'm so happy not to be dying anymore.
Yeah, that's great.
I have so much more energy now. I'm eating more than a single half
Any
crumb a
difference
day.
now?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah. How'd that go?
No pain.
It's going. You know. I'm happy not to be having the old C disc in me anymore.
Hooray.
He's up to 5 crumbs now.
I love it.
Huh.
He's up to five crumbs a day.
So good, Reed.
I can eat like no food. It's the worst.
Hello.
Hey.
It's working now.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, something's working now. That's for
There
sure.
we
Friend
go.
Lita
Hey
is going
there.
through something like that too. She's pregnant though.
Oh, it's
So-
even worse.
Yeah, no,
Dude,
it's like
I'm pregnant. That's
so
awesome.
insane because she like had to go to the hospital because she was so malnourished from like she literally couldn't keep anything down for
Yep.
the last 5 weeks.
Oh,
Ugh.
I know that
right?
life.
Like
It
you
is the
can-
worst.
We'll give you her name. You can look her up and complain with her.
No, it's just like the
Oh my
cycle of you're
God.
nauseous, you don't want to eat anymore.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not eating, you're not getting any nutrition. But if you eat something, you get sick, and then you get nauseous, which makes you not want to eat. So it's like, welcome to dying.
Yeah, right? Like, man, talk about
Ugh.
a suck fest.
Yep.
Ugh.
All right, so did you hear
Gatorade, though.
most of that, Hunter, then, by the way?
I got a decent portion, but I definitely would like a recap later.
Okay.
Like, I'll talk to you afterwards and we can go through that vision again.
We can keep talking about the speed vision now while we elaborate.
Okay.
We saw 2 locations. One with the-
You saw 3
we saw-
locations.
yeah, we saw 2 locations, and then the location where Norm was at.
You saw 3 locations and the location Ragnar.
So we saw all 4.
You saw all 4.
Right. And the red one was in a rock tomb somewhere. Right.
Yep.
Alright. The rock tomb looked familiar. Would I know any of the surrounding?
It looked exactly. Remember that vision the Lich gave you?
That guy, yeah.
Um,
I remember him fondly.
You remember a tomb opening up again like a box, and then it rose out of it. It's the same tomb, and now you see 4 kings in there. And didn't you also get a whereabouts of the entrance of what was outside the entrance of that? I swear the Lich gave it to you, and then I said that, and then Ryan's like, "What's that? I've never heard of that." I'm like, "I swear, I told you guys the location."
It's been a long time.
It
since I
has
saw
been
him.
a very long time since the Vault of Waterdeep. So I don't care. I'm saying the Lich gives you this information if he didn't in the past. But you saw
We
a
saw it just
broken,
now, so-
sure, a broken sword, a tomb that resembled a broken sword that led to the entrance of wherever your orb was. It looked like a handle, and then the actual tip of the sword for whatever going into this tomb broke off, and that's all the steps that lead into this tomb. And that's all you had. You don't know where the fuck that is.
Right.
You don't have a location of that.
And the other one was in the desert. That's the one Ragnarum's at.
Yep.
Right.
Ragnar's in the desert right now.
That's in northern desert because it's the one of air, right?
Yep.
So he's probably towards the Temple of Pank.
He is.
This,
that,
I'm
you would
using
know
my
this.
character voice, but
You would know
yeah.
this. Yep, that's him. Yep. That's generally where you know where the air maze walkers are.
And then what was the other one? I'm sorry.
It's fine. I don't expect you guys to remember everything I say instantly. The blue one or the brown one?
The blue one was the one. I'm sorry, I don't remember either of those.
No problem. The blue one, you heard a bellowing voice say, "Come and get it." And everyone give me a perception check to see if any of you could see what was inside the scrying well.
Oh, that's good. That's a 23.
Okay? That's awesome. I love when narrative works out.
17.
18.
18, 17. Okay, everyone's seen this shit. This is great.
14.
All right, you didn't quite catch it. It's a little blurry for you.
okay.
It's okay. You know, sometimes the storm has a way with you. You know.
Ignatius, what'd you roll in that?
Yeah, 14.
Okay, both you and Tellius didn't really catch it. You were infatuated by the shifting of the blue orb. The scrying well was on Ragnorum.
So there was another one.
There was something else scrying on Ragnorum watching him.
Right, so there were two people seeing the same situation.
Yes.
There's somebody else who's...
There was something with the blue watching Ragnorum.
And the voice we heard from that was Ragnorum's voice then.
For the blue, the come and get it was a different sounding voice than Ragnorum.
Alright.
You guys definitely never recognized
So-
it.
Okay, and it wasn't Sundrel then.
No.
It sounded
No.
It sounded like it, so I figured
Hey,
maybe.
well, Sundrel's more like, I will physically fuck up my jaw and be like, I'm fucking Sundrel.
Alright. And then the brown one was somewhere else.
It looked exactly like, instead of fire, it looked like earth for the maze. It looks like it's still in its maze.
Oh,
To you.
well, that's good. That's what it's supposed to be. Alright. At least someone's doing their job around here.
Hey, out of 4, only one seemed to not fuck up.
Let's go, guys. And what do I know where that maze was located?
The Quaking Labyrinth?
Yes.
Yes, you would.
Is
It's on the map, labeled Quaking Labyrinth. That's probably really tiny.
it in Winland?
Nope.
No.
It is in Jalasia, and it is south. Young Gook, and it's south.
They're doing.
Look for another volcano or something around there.
Blah, blah,
Farther
young
north?
cook.
Oh, there we are. Right
Is that the? I think it's the water one.
It's the southwestern.
Is that the water? Or it's quaking, or I forget what I called the water one.
Flooded.
Flooded is.
That might be the flooded.
Yep,
Yep.
that's the flood.
That's the flooded. Then go
And
across, directly across.
Yeah, okay,
There it
okay,
is.
okay.
There's quaking.
And then
The maze walkers absolutely know where the hell they are, where the other ones are.
there's
Generally.
the infernal is up there.
That's you.
And then so
And then you're looking for air
yeah.
all the way to the top.
Holy! Why is that one so far away?
Well, there's probably a reason.
How did he get up there?
Where were you guys last?
Oh.
We were pretty close.
Yeah, alright. So we didn't have to go that far.
No. He didn't teleport. And it's been about 3 weeks.
So if we had gone there and dropped off the thing, he would have gotten it.
Yeah.
It would not have been good. So it's really kind of good that we didn't go there. Maybe.
But how? I guess how can we use the orb to bring back Shalimir?
Can we?
That's what we were told by Eve.
As far as I know, the orbs do not bring creatures back to life, but bestow powers onto others that can use them.
Could the powers it bestows be resurrection?
Of the what?
Can the powers it bestows be resurrection?
In my knowledge? I'm unsure. That's a fine.
So I guess Storm wants us to track down these orbs.
Possibly. Or at least wants you to have knowledge of them. The storm is not necessarily straightforward. It shows you signs,
No.
and you try to interpret them to the best of your ability.
So is there any other way to get here besides using the runes that Ignatius knows?
No?
So it might be safer to keep the orb here than to take it back with us when we go to the other ones, and then we can just pop in here when we make our way back north.
Can we
Grab it and
come
then-
back whenever we want?
That rune allows him to come back once a month into here.
That's pretty manageable.
But I'm not sure an item such as that could exist in this plane.
Oh, it would be too easy.
Where's the weight? Where's the weight? Hide in
No consequences!
Hide in a pocket dimension?
Oh, I thought maybe.
It's a good idea, but we're gonna have fun.
Alright, well, I guess we can keep it with us.
It slowly floats back over to her hand, and she hands it back to Tyrion.
Well, I guess if we have nothing, no other plans, like I don't know if you guys were doing anything when I first met up with you.
I mean, we were still trying to figure out what direction we needed to go.
These orbs seem like a good direction to go.
I've been looking for mine for a long time, but
One of these is
much
yours.
success. I'm sorry, what did you ask?
One of these orbs is yours?
Well, not mine specifically, but I'm well acquainted with one of them.
The scar's burning.
So, I have a better idea of where that is, or at least what it looks like where it is. So we can ask around. Do you happen to know where that rock tomb that looked like a sword was?
I could ask the storm.
That would be, yeah.
Roll percentage die.
Divine intervention.
Let she do it.
What's her level? Is she level 20?
It's a percentage. It's not about levels. It's just you have a certain percentage chance.
82.
82%?
Yeah.
I don't know how I want this now.
We in there.
Yeah, I guess. Sure.
Right.
I didn't set whether it's a 15% up or down, or 20% up or down. So you hit 83. So how about you got it? 20% down. You got 3% over. So there you go.
All right.
She goes over to the area you guys all saw again. You see her under the storm. You hear these lightning strikes up top in that eye of the storm, and rain starts to pour down. And on there, you can see an outline of a tool. And you see light her finger, and lightning starts coming out of her finger, and it starts slowly drifting towards an area. And it highlights.
Show me, lightning boy.
This area.
Oh well, that's where the storm giants are, isn't it?
Storm giants are up here.
All right. So
Over here.
that's near.
Fandlin, Neverwinter.
Oh, I was so close.
You fucking were.
What are the odds?
What? Sorry,
did we
what was
leave?
it?
You left, and you must have been only like 200 miles from it when you left. If that.
What was the question again?
The
He's
location
asking
of
where
the
his
tomb
orb
where
is.
the fire orb is located.
Oh.
It's near. It's near
near
Fandolin and Neverwinter.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Damn.
What are the odds? That is weird. I mean, we were just there like
5 years
however
ago.
long ago,
5 years ago.
That was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
4 years ago.
years ago, but for us it's like months.
A couple months.
I mean, it may not have been there at the time we passed by.
It was.
Hey, yeah.
It was.
That's a
You
possibility.
felt the burning and went away on the ship across the world.
There were pressing matters.
Sure were. Sure were. No, I agree. Sure. Could have made a pit stop, but glad you didn't.
I am too.
So you're already after this orb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And now that I know where it is, I feel like I need to go there.
I mean, I think it only benefits us if we have the orbs together. Maybe that's how we can both not let Ragnorum destroy everything, while also maybe, I don't know, find somebody who can help us answer why the Orb of Air was directed for us to, why the Paragon of Light, we were directed to go find it so we can bring back Shalimir. What that even means.
I'm sure we could probably find some help and answers when we get back to Waterdeep.
Just as a note, DM wise, Eve asked you a favor in exchange for reviving. Not that these things would revive. Just
Oh,
I'm
Yeah.
gonna let it keep going that you guys misremembered, but also if you're about to change everything, you probably want to know that.
guys, I just had a revelation.
Tyrion, you knucklehead.
Actually, Tyrion, canonically, you hear something correct you.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
In the Adventure
oh,
comics when the
never mind. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's hilarious.
You're jumping between two groups. It's completely understandable. There's a lot of words being thrown around and falsehoods I'm actively feeding you. So,
Wow, what a douche.
my DM's an asshole.
I
I don't want to play anymore.
Actually, Cole, right?
Yes.
Interesting name.
Well, funny thing, each time a Valkyrie is claimed by a new god, they earn a new letter. This is my third.
What happened to the
Oh.
other two?
I was no longer needed.
Sound like a bad thing or a good thing?
Depends. Some gods fade from existence, and others are created anew.
How long have you followed the storm?
A time far beyond your comprehension.
Are you millions of years old? Because he's millions of years old.
I'd say so. From previous eras, I've lived through nearly all of them.
See, you guys are almost the same age, you know. There could be something there.
How proficient are you with magics?
Decently so. I enchant all the armors and all my weaponry.
She killed
I
all
was-
of us, so
Before we make any movements away, I actually have some items that you might be able to help me with identifying, if that might be all right.
If it's the will of the storm.
I just kind of like I turned Ignatius. Do I?
Go.
Okay.
Just give it a fucking shot.
First thing, I'm gonna pull out the unidentified scroll that I found in Thanazar's dungeon.
Yes, you will.
Because I have one that is a telepathic bond, but we had one that I couldn't identify.
Yep.
Telepathic
And-
bond scroll.
I'd like to see if I could have Cole help me or I help her identify it.
Yeah, we can do that. We can 100% do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nope, not that. She's rolling up. Hear this? Here, that's her identifying. That's what she's doing right now.
That right now.
Where the fuck did I put it?
For a little while.
Oh boy, you guys fight a lot of people. Got a lot of lists here. Here's the encounters.
Just 'cause
I think, did we find this one in the last room of the dungeon? I think.
Names of the characters.
We found 2 scrolls.
Brian, oh boy, how old do we get?
Wait, we should right now.
Characters. Oh God, I hope it's not on one of the other pads. I gotta tear off the notes every week and put them in the note pile. I was just thinking about this. Oh shit! You found a scroll, right? Start describing where you found it.
I think I found both.
He
I
has
think
a
we found
drawing
both
of the
scrolls in the I think it was it was like the left room where it was the underground trial in the final chamber of Thanazar's dungeon.
Yeah. Yes.
Where it was like
really
there's
awkward things.
There's like one pool and then there's like a bunch of loot. And we picked up like 20% of it.
Yes. Yes, you did. Tabaxi. You sure did.
It was 2. We got 2 scrolls. One of them identified as telepathic bond. The other one I couldn't identify at the time.
Man, he's got some bug eyes right now. You guys should see.
I did write these down in a different note. Nice.
Nice.
Where did I put all? Yep, I have all the rooms. Play by play. They're dying, Tim Tom.
They're dying to dumb.
Escape room, wall descriptions, treasure hoard. Yes.
Wait, when did we?
You guys missed out on a bunch of it.
What?
We missed out on a lot of the stuff.
You found a spell. What? Okay, I have a spell scroll here. Which one did you say?
He had the top.
We got the. I think I got them together.
Okay.
One scroll was telepathic bond. The other one I didn't identify at the time.
Alright.
I failed to.
So it's 14 plus a modifier for intelligence, would probably be 5, so a 19.
If she's proficient in Arcana, she could probably add her proficiency as
She
well.
is definitely proficient in Arcana.
So add that too. So like it's her, it's ability matter and.
She's over 20 then.
Okay.
I'll give her that. This is a powerful spell scroll. The storm has shown me, and I recognize the runes. This can be used to cast the spell Ray of Enfeeblement.
Oh, that's good.
Impassionately, yes.
Give.
What else do you wish to have
Um.
identified?
Additionally, I have some potions as well
Sure.
that I'm not very familiar with.
Arcana.
I think one is it's listed as a blue appearing potion that we found down there.
Yep. I know what that one is.
Okay.
Blue dabba dee dab. Oh no. What have we done?
So for the blue potion, she tastes it, and then she hands it back to you, and she goes, "This will allow you to breathe underwater for as limited duration of time."
And then, since I've got you here,
As Tyrion's pulling out all this shit.
just pull it out a bunch of shit. I pull out one of the multicolored potions
Yep,
from
sorry.
the bag of holding.
It's just trying to be nice.
She rolled 14 with her modifier. She's over 20 again. This is a potion of growth.
Growth. How much growth?
You will grow in size.
How big?
Just Google on D&D Beyond potion of growth, and you'll see.
Alright.
Have fun with that.
Oh, it could be big.
It could be very big.
Very big.
You could be swole anyone.
Thank you so much.
It is the sword's will.
Well, it seems that Charnook, you want to get this orb, and it seems that the storm wants to help you get it. So I think our path forward is clear.
Right. Now, when we step back through those runes, are we going to be back on the ship headed to Waterdeep? And we're going to have to travel north?
Are you asking that towards the Valkyrie?
I'm speaking that aloud for all the group to hear.
Okay. The Valkyrie does not answer you.
Do you know where we'll pop out when we step through the runes?
No.
Oh. Is it, like, the same as where we entered?
It's wherever the storm decides to drop you.
Oh, that's really... You know...
Ignatius, you're familiar with this.
Yes.
Got him.
Got him.
But I imagine it might be different since you passed your trial.
That's awesome. Doubles your size.
You know, the whole group didn't need to hear that.
He's impassionate.
Well, I guess That's kind
So
of.
it's gonna put us somewhere different. Is that correct, Ignatius?
Who knows?
I'm a bit tired of that. I'd really like to just, in and out, same spot, just end up somewhere random and having to do something weird.
There's only one way to find out.
Do you have a spell?
Oh boy.
Tyrion, do you have a spell that can maybe make us go somewhere where we know we're going?
No one here does.
Nope.
No one here can do that.
Well, you don't have anything, do you? Well,
Nope.
you got so much stuff in your bag. I figured maybe, I don't know.
I can work on getting that, but it's gonna take
Same.
some time before I can learn something of that magnitude.
Same.
Oh, good. I'll keep that far in the future.
Well, I
If those
guess
spells even work to get you here, this is a special place.
No, we're asking for teleportation magic or
Ignatius has teleportation magic right now. That's all he's got.
right, but that's the you might get where you're going, you might not kind of deal.
It'll be an experiment. Is everyone ready?
That's our only recourse.
I was just gonna see what that was.
I mean, we have no other way of.
I mean, we
Before
have
we leave,
to go back eventually. So
Yeah, we can't stay here.
Yeah.
you mentioned this was a forge, correct, Cole?
How far back it is.
Yes,
And it helps you forge magical items?
it does.
Are there more of these?
no.
Storm forges there are of one. I believe what you've encountered are what they call Titan forges,
Oh gosh, I recall that.
of which there are
Yeah.
5.
There are 5. Oh man.
Because we've run into one.
Titan
Although
Forge.
maybe at the Tharnazan's temple that looked. I'm not sure. We didn't really have a chance to look around.
Yeah, we kind of just
It's quite possible.
probably.
On all of your journeys, you have touched some very important artifacts. It would not surprise me if you have run into the other one. If you found that orb there, it could have been the Sun Forge. I'm enjoying your face, Zach. Putting the wheels together. What?
Hold on.
What do you mean?
The wrong group's in the wrong place.
What?
We gotta give them the old switcheroo.
Maybe.
Yup.
Who knows?
All right, is everybody ready to go then?
I mean,
Any other questions for our dear compatriot?
Is Charnook still Is he in his?
No,
He's a Minotaur.
I'm still a Minotaur.
He's still a Minotaur?
I hulked out for the fight.
Okay. Before we go, I'm just gonna look at him and be like, Charnook, you never told me you were so handsome. What happened?
You can't see me because the mic's in my face, but I'm very smiley right now. Oh well, I don't know. I guess I was just born this way.
Very nice.
You see,
Well, it's good to-
Cole
it's good to
is
meet
doing
the-
the runes
the
for
real
you at
you.
this point, and it's open. And gate is opened.
All right, through the gate then.
All right, let's go.
I go through the gate.
All right. As the group goes through,
What?
Tyrion, you're the first awake. As you feel water rush from your lungs, in the middle of a storm at sea, below you see this giant turtled creature.
Oh.
And you can see what appears to be the captain pulling you out of the water, standing on top of the turtle creature, and you hear him, "Back, I say!" And all this dust goes into the nostrils of this giant creature. And you see it shaking, and his arm extends, grabs the side of the ship, and pulls you up. There laying, you see the rest of your companions going, coming to consciousness right now, as the captain seemingly saved all of you from going overboard. The storm starts to dissipate as the giant creature goes away. The entirety of the ship, people rushing around and throwing all sorts of items onto the creature overboard and trying to steer the ship in the right places. The first mate on the wheel right now. You see the captain take out his fancy hat and readjust it, dusting off some of the water on his exposed chest now. It's like popped open pretty far, and it's all this metallic gleaming off it. And you see him.
God.
They're alive! And he goes back up the stairs. And you see all the other ones, all the other people on the crew. What? What was that? What? Captain saved them. Somebody should probably check on them. Right! And people start coming over and checking to see if you guys are all alive. You're all in good health and fine. You have taken those hit points of damage, and you're all coming to consciousness on the deck.
I think we had an.
Do I still have my hat on?
You do have your hat on, but it is wet.
Oh, I'm gonna make it dry.
Nice.
Because I can do that.
Is the turtle beast still on us?
Give me a perception check as you go over to the edge.
17.
It seems to be going somewhere else.
Bye.
I hope that wasn't just for us.
How long were we unconscious for?
You see the first mate rush over to you now.
Barrel. Wait, I mean,
Good old barrel.
No, Barrel's not first mate.
Oh,
that's not
the
barrel.
first
It's Trisher.
no, that was.
Trasher.
Trollish.
Trailer.
Trollish.
Trollish.
Frolish.
See, I had it. Trash.
He comes over. Hi, I'm Trash. My best friend's Forky. Charles comes over. What? How long were you out?
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds.
Oh, man.
That was it.
Yes, you went overboard. All of you were drawn to that light. There was some strange lightning strikes going on. You went overboard. Well, I guess it must have been more like a minute or two. It only felt like 30 seconds. Captain went overboard, started fighting with that horrible creature, and he has his mystic powders, and he has one for those turtle creatures. He surprises me all the time. But don't talk to him. Some surprises.
Yes, well,
All right.
I was gonna say, since we can't thank him for us, it's
Yeah.
Most certainly. I will,
very
and
appreciated.
next time he talks to me.
Might be a while, huh?
He's a strange one.
All right.
Could I leave something with him at least?
You can try.
All right.
What would you like to leave with him?
I think he should have this.
You see, he's like this, and he starts reaching for it, and then you look to your side, you see the captain there taking the hat out of his hand, and he's just like, I knew you were good. And he puts it on top of the other one, and the other one you can't see anymore, and he goes up, and you can hear the mutterings of Double King as he's going up the stairs beneath his breath. And you hear this hum. Just, you'd never heard the beat before.
Oh, it suits him well.
Yeah, he's definitely worthy.
You've
Well,
made
that
our
was
captain
nice.
very happy. I've never seen him so happy. I could almost, if he could smile, I think he would be.
I didn't think he had emotions.
I'm not sure he does.
Well, regardless, I still like him. Saved all our
Oh,
butts.
absolutely.
He did.
Well then, I guess the sun's out, the birds are chirping, we're on our way.
Are we still on course?
To Waterdeep? To Waterdeep.
You mean Skoberheim?
No, why would we be going to Skomerheim?
Never
We're
mind.
not-
It was because we were okay. Yes,
We're on the ship already.
I know, but I thought. Never mind. It's fine. Never mind.
Navik, have you been saying stupid shit again?
Oh, you mean Daryl?
You see Navik just drenched. What? As he's like tied himself down to one of the posts. Someone cut me free. And as there's orcs walking by him. No, we're good. No, that's not necessary. Well, yeah, we'll stay the course. 2 weeks to Waterdeep. We're gonna cut through a channel, and we should be all right.
Whereabouts are we
Nice.
on the map?
Because you guys were going for so long, you're about to cut. So you guys were in Old Town. You guys have now gone down this far. If you're 2 weeks out from Waterdeep, I'd say you're gonna snoot doot through the channel in Minna, which definitely will have no problem. And you guys will be able to snoot doot through another channel across.
Snoot and
continent.
doot. Nice.
So we still have quite a ways to go.
No, it probably should take longer, but I really don't want it to.
Do we?
Gotta be honest with you.
Is there something waiting for us in Waterdeep? The job.
Yeah, you guys have a job deep.
Our house. I mean,
Yeah, your lives.
Bar.
I mean,
our
could
lives.
we could also go north when we get inland. You know, we can get off near.
If you want to go back to Neverwinter.
No, if we could go right here and then cut north.
Well, as Navik, if you're talking, everyone's talking to Navik now. We're all the map out as you guys are trying to negotiate. Well, Harry, man, you see here, the problem is when we go through this channel in Minna, there's no getting off. That's the slaver state.
Right.
So we can't really stop there, but they only allow us through because we're going to Skoberheim for trade, since they have a non-aggression pact with them. But we say, fuck that. We pay off some people at Skoberheim and we go straight through. But the slavers have ears everywhere, except on our boats, I hope.
How strong are they?
Strong enough that none of us would try and mess with that.
All right.
They have enslaved populations of like 10 million people that aren't rising up against them, so they got to be pretty strong.
What do you guys think?
I think we should. I want to go back to Waterdeep, honestly,
Let's regroup with
everyone,
our allies.
our
Figure out
friends.
what we need to do.
Was there a teleportation circle that led to Fandel and Neverwinter?
You don't know.
Blackstaff
I don't
might
know.
know about that.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, if they have something, I'm sure we could find out at this point, but we didn't. Nobody said anything before we had left. We didn't have any experience with any teleportation there.
right.
Are you
But
guys
also,
discussing all this?
we know Blackstaff, so I'm sure we could ask.
Certainly.
As you guys are all discussing this, you see Navik looking over the maps again with all of you, and all of a sudden he goes, wait a moment. And he goes outside, and he's looking around at the seas, and where? And he comes back inside, and he starts looking at the map. That can't be. Goes back outside, you hear the boots. What kind of storm are we in?
What do you mean?
We're in the wrong waters.
How can you tell?
What do you mean the wrong waters?
It's water everywhere. It looks the same.
Look toward the stars. Look how the sky lines up. It is day, but you can still see where some of the planets shine through. You see that there? That planet helps keep us toward the north. That's the North Star. And if you can keep the correct angles, and also the waves are 100% different. As you look over at the ground, like that's green water. We don't have green water over here.
Oh,
It's normally clearer and bluer inside.
so we're all.
Where are we?
If I had to
Surprise,
say,
we're in Freya.
We are
Behind enemy lines in the north.
in the Shadowed Sea.
The what?
The Shadowed Sea.
Let me.
We shouldn't be here for at least another few months.
The shadows see what I am having trouble finding.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Do you mean Shadowfen Sea?
Did I say? Yep, probably is. Yep, Shadowfen Sea.
Oh,
Oh,
Where is
bam!
that?
Excuse me? Oh, your DM just thought of something canonical that makes me better. You're in my world, bitches.
So, what?
Wait, hold on. What?
We just
we're like south of Waterdeep right now.
yeah. What?
Oh man, that storm was crazy.
We're like practically.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Wait a minute.
So we were here. We were supposed to be here,
Yep.
but we're here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're ahead of
We
schedule.
completely skipped Minna.
Sure did.
That's convenient.
Man, that storm. That was something else.
Well, I guess
Well,
that
I mean-
solves that for us.
I guess the storm wanted to help us along our way.
We're the best
what do you mean
sailors in the world.
storm? The storm. What do you mean? As he's looking at you, you're talking at it in a way that it's like a thing, and to him, storms aren't a thing.
Oh, the storm has a will. The storm has.
Trial Ash! Trial! He opens up the door. He comes over. What you guys follow out in this argument? What did we pick up? What did we pick up? You're the one that chose them. I don't know. What is do you know where we are right now? It's like we're in the Mall of the World. No, look at those waters. What about? Does the Mall of the World ever look that color to you? You're the navigator. I don't look. Why would I look? Why would I? Water's water. How would I know? If we sail one day in that direction, we're going to hit a coast of Skoberheim. Okay.
Water.
I think Navik is no Skoberheim. He's pointing in one direction. Waterdeep is north of you guys. He's pointing in a different direction than north. I think Navik's had one too many storms for his own. Why are you so serious? You're making me nervous as he's punching on you. What do you mean? Captain! He's right. Just shout it down. This is the strangest crew I've ever sailed with. I want all of you to know this. Each and every one of
We're
you.
the best sailors in the world.
All right, let's give them the thing as they come downstairs and there's a chest.
We get the MacGuffin.
All right, he hands you a chest. All right. This is going to a very important place inside Waterdeep. You have to go down into a dead drop. You leave it there, and you watch to make sure somebody with this symbol, and he hands you over a little rock, comes to pick it up. If they don't have that symbol on them in any way, shape, or form, they're supposed to identify themselves. They're probably shit at it. They probably won't. So make sure it's them. And then come back to the ports, and we'll pay you for it.
I'm gonna give this to the smart person here.
You should do that.
Hand it
We
to
only have
Tyrion.
one of those.
There you go, Tyrion.
He has all of the cool stuff.
It's in thieves speak. Do any of you have
Thieves'
thieves? Thieves can't, I meant, but yes.
Nope.
Do you know Thieves Can't?
I know Aerie does.
I know someone who does.
I have a connoisseur I could call.
So
have a
I'm just gonna put it as like a thieves symbol.
Yep. So, don't open the box. You don't need to open the box. The client needs this thing. That's all that matters.
Where's the dead drop?
The dead drop. We're gonna go open the map to Waterdeep. Inside Waterdeep, there is a sewer system. Very complicated.
Where?
Oh, fantastic. Okay. You're going to look for this symbol written on a couple walls. It's going to be below the historic district. So go into the sewers of the historic district, look for the symbols. 3 turns. Right.
But wait.
3 rights. Right.
3 rights and you'll end up left.
What?
No, hold on.
Wait a minute.
It's an old trick we use.
Walking in a circle. give him the old switcheroo.
Wait a minute.
But you have to follow the symbols. Otherwise it won't work.
Okay, I thought you would just.
I'll take your word for it.
So, why are we bringing Xanathar this chest? Is that no?
No one said anything about that. No. We have a client.
Is he a client weird eyeball guy?
Not that we know of.
Okay.
Is he a big floating eyeball with multiple eyeball stalks all around him?
A, we would not tell you what the client's name if it was. B, that's preposterous, and no, we don't deal with floating eyeballs.
Does this guy seem forthright?
Now, we deal with a lot of people that may be.
I was asking the DM that
Oh
question.
yeah, go ahead and roll
this
on.
person.
Go on.
Sorry. Oh, I rolled a nice whopping 2. So, 6.
6.
Let me guess. Hard to read.
Hard to read. This guy
Yeah.
is well versed in this business. I meant Castle Ward, not Historic District.
Okay.
Castle Ward.
Classic. He's so well versed in subterfuge. I don't do that,
No, you don't.
It would be funny if we ran into
but I could.
What's his face? Rich boy.
Never remember.
Yes. Would be funny.
Deception +6. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Well, you have the night then to prepare. We'll be within the port of Waterdeep in a day.
Can't wait.
Yeah. You've been talking to Navik the whole time. The first mate didn't have you with this one.
I mean, you don't sound too thrilled. Is it bad that we're ahead of schedule?
I don't believe in magic.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, hold on.
You don't believe in magic?
That's kind of silly. I mean, we can show you like 3 different kinds of magic, like right now.
Right, but that's magic.
I mean, like, look at this. And I'll make like a little eyeball in my hand.
Sure, arcana is one thing, but to
But
disappear in a storm, he's not taking this well. You can see he's just like sweating.
wait. Hold on. I got one more. And I'll run. Wait, are we on like the top deck or are we somewhere else?
You're under below right now. You're below.
Okay, I'm gonna run up top.
Yep.
And then just dimension door like into where I was standing.
Oh, gee. Oh, this is new. Oh,
I mean,
right.
it exists. I mean, I'm just saying, if you think magic doesn't exist, that's just. I mean, that's just ignorant at this point. Did you not see me? I literally just. I opened the door
I did.
and I just. Yeah.
But we're talking about a whole ship without
Well, yeah.
even noticing.
Well, I mean, if I could do that to myself.
Starting to think some of the stories the captain has said aren't as crazy. As he just walks out of the room.
See you later.
Haters.
All right, you guys want to take a break, or do you want to keep going? Up to you. It's an hour in.
What do you think?
It's 10:30. All right, welcome back. You guys are pulling into the port of Waterdeep, a
Holy
sight
shit.
you have not seen in so
Ooh.
long.
Before we were actually pulling in
Sure, you want
the
something?
night before,
Sure.
I actually wanted to use the black box
Yeah.
and send a message to Salem saying, "Hello, Salem. This is Tyrion of the Waterdeep peoples, the people, your allies. And we through a strange turn of events, we're gonna be in town tomorrow. So we'll see you then.
I'm on break.
Bye." Send.
All right. It sends.
One thing that I did want to do
Yeah.
on this voyage is,
Sure.
since he's not really had time to sit down, one of the nights he would be up on deck, just sitting around and looking at the stars and thinking about how most of his clan is presumably gone. How, to his knowledge, he might be the last one from his city.
Sure.
And he starts thinking about his home and the halls and the runic markings that were in some of the mosaics on the wall, and he starts to like gently etch that into the blade of his sword. And he just, from memory, does that about as well as he can.
Sure.
He just thinks of his family.
That's wonderful. And give me a sleight of hand, just to see how he's able to do that. How well. He, in his mind, is perfect, but on a ship that's wobbling. 9. Some of the runes not as straight as he would have hoped, but he didn't go real hard with it yet. He just did like an overlay to be like, maybe I get someone special to do this. Maybe I get shot.
Oh, God. Everyone's dead!
Yep. Okay. Anybody else want to do anything else before pulling into port of Waterdeep?
Maybe some fishing.
In we go. So you see the docks much more fortified from the last time you saw. You can tell as you guys pull in, there is a multitude of ships that first greet you. And the captain waves on, and he has one of those lights that you do. There's a candle in it, and they do the Morse code, and they start doing signals back and forth. And the ship's able to pass, and as you guys pass through 2 ships that are guarding inside here, you can see all sorts of Waterdeep soldiers standing guard watching, ballistas pointed at your ships and everything. And you can just see the captain with his bigger, fancier hat now turn and give a wave, and you see one of the other people on the ship being like, and you just see him put the hand down and give a slight acknowledgement of his bigger hat. And you can see that other person just jazzed about it. There's like, oh, God. As you guys pull into port, the docks that you once saw devastated by Monsoon are completely repaired. There's been expanded, so there could be more ships. It seems in wartime they have made the city as fortified as possible. There's even seems to be some sort of self-defense precautions if other ships were to come into port, that there are spikes onto the side that may be able to sink any ships trying to come close to port. And you actually see them going down, and it might go farther out into the port than you guys may have initially realized. The sun is up. It's early in the morning when you get there, about 9 a.m. As you guys pull into dock and you hear the bells dinging on and off, and people being like, "Oh, it's a new ship! Well, this ship wasn't supposed to be here for weeks, months maybe," as they're going around and everyone's taking their writings down, and you see one of the shipkeepers, the thing comes down, the first mate runs down, and Tyrion, one of the people you used to know, that is been, looks like promoted since last you saw, is interacting with them.
It's his boss.
No.
Oh.
No,
Grit
my boss
retired.
saying something though.
Oh, you're retired?
Remember?
Oh.
There's a
Yeah.
whole motion
Oh,
thing
yeah.
with Grit.
He inspired him to.
Yeah, he inspired him
I
to go get a new
inspired him to
job.
retire.
I wonder what he's doing now.
Solomon Worf is the individual you recognize there. He was like you, but more ambitious towards administrative roles. You can see he's got one of the more higher end roles for whenever somebody comes in, the quartermaster for all the ships, or docking master for all the ships. He's collecting the taxing for them to dock the ship, and he thanks them, and he says they're going to have to go through customs, and they start taking some stuff off the ship, and that's when Navik comes to you guys and go, so you had that magic thing you do. Tellius, now might be a nice time to magic thingy off the boat with the thingy.
Right. All right. I will disguise myself first
Sure.
into I'm gonna look kind of like, pale skin, balding, brown hair,
Okay.
mustache,
Nice. This sounded like me.
pencil thin eyebrows,
All right. Not me.
Nice.
Definitely not me.
brown eyes,
All right.
and just sort of, generic male
Sure.
face.
Sounds good.
I would say of Scandinavian.
Okay. Cool. Wonderful. All right.
Same height.
You can easily pick up the weight of the chest. Your strength dwarfs it.
Wonderful.
Um,
Remind me where I'm going again.
you are going to the Castle Ward.
Castle Ward.
Sewers to
Castle
Ward.
board.
I can get us there.
All right,
Excellent.
perfect.
Follow the signs, and you.
Do they know that to pick it up since we're so ahead of schedule?
Good point. I'm going to let them know. And you see he walks out and goes to one of the crew members there. Seems
Deck wizard.
with the in touch with the arcane as he asks for them to send a message, and they go okay. They nod and they send a message. One calmly replies back to it, and he nods as well. He walks away from the orc. They're aware and they're excited.
Okay, then let's
Cool.
make our way.
All right.
All right. So do you dimension door off the ship or no?
Just me and you, Tyrion. You want to just go?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. Let's get this over with.
All right. You two
And,
dimension door
Well,
off the
we will
ship.
do that. Yeah.
Just past all the stuff, and you guys can just wait for everybody to catch up with you. You're just bypassing customs.
Take that, TSA.
Bypassing customs with a bag of holding. That's hilarious.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As the rest of you come off the ship, they don't really care too much for the people. They're just more caring about the items in the trade. That's what they really want to see. So they're checking all the bags and everything people are going through. Whatever you guys have on your persons, you show them with relative ease. Anything you're able to hide from them, you're able to. You lived here so long. And some of the people do recognize you, and they start looking at
Are they the gods?
not those.
Oh
gods.
no!
No, those are not those.
What season is it, by the way?
At this point, it would be starting summer for them because it's winter in the north.
Look at that.
How many suns are there?
There's still one.
All right.
One day that might pay off.
You never know, dude.
It's gonna be so casual too, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh no,
Excuse
when
me.
did we?" Oh. All right.
All right.
The smells
Castle
of
what it
Waterdeep
is.
return to you. You have wonderful bakeries all throughout the dock ward. Tyrion, some that you're very familiar with. The smith shop that you guys once seen you walk past. The group reconvenes, and you guys find yourself inside a place you recognize as home, but has changed quite a bit. Seems like there's a fresh coat of paint on everything. The military force is much, much more present everywhere. All the walls seem to be manned at all times. The patrols around the street seem to be in higher numbers, and you're also starting to see strange armored folks that you don't recognize patrolling as well, different from the colors of Waterdeep down here.
What are the colors?
Silver and green.
Of the North.
Maybe.
I'm going to lead our party sort of more alleyways and kind of off the main thoroughfares.
Sure. Give me a. How about a? You can choose between history or survival, and you have advantage on the roll because you live here for so long.
I'm going to do survival because that's way better for me. And that is, that's a nice roll, a 21.
That's right, it is.
With ease, you're able to navigate through the different wards. Each of you getting hit with waves of nostalgia as you recognize some of the monuments and some of the people you haven't seen in a long time. But you keep to your mission, and nobody really gets a glimpse of you all as you're making it quietly back into Waterdeep, and right about to the main sewer system of the castle ward. You come across it through a back alley, and you have the chance to try and enter it.
Let's go.
Okay. Opening up, Tellius easily with his strength just, and everybody goes down into it. As you enter into the sewer systems, give me a perception check to see if you can locate the Thieves' Mark.
All of us?
Yeah, you all saw it.
Natural fucking 20.
Natural 20.
Oh!
Natural fucking.
Oh! Wait, did you say one?
For a 7.
7, yeah.
18.
What was it?
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is 14.
Okay. All of you get down there, and Tyrion slides a little bit and slips on some sludge, and he's just like, this is too familiar. Like, that wasn't there.
I don't think that was sludge, Tyrion.
Don't. Just don't.
And both Tellius and Ignatius is like, as soon as they hit the ground, they're both like, it's there. At the same time, they both nail it, and they see where the marking is, where the sewer goes to the left side.
So we go
you.
right, and then right, and then...
Well, you come down,
he's
you're going to
quick.
go left
He's
down
good.
this hallway,
Of course we are.
and then maybe there's some rights or lefts to take.
Ooh, who knows?
All right.
Is there going to be another symbol? Is that what he said?
You guys go down the hallway with the symbol.
Yep.
Going down there, carrying the chest. Tullius, you have it in hand.
How big is the chest?
About yay big.
Okay, so it's not huge.
No. As you guys are walking down through
I'm
there,
palming it like a basketball.
there is... Yeah, it's fair. There's a split in the road, and there's a left and a right.
Is there a symbol?
Give me
We
Right.
go right.
Look for the symbol. 15.
15. Doesn't appear to be a symbol.
Guys.
We're going. He said go right.
No, he didn't. He said go left.
What? No.
Go right. I'm gonna start walking right.
All right.
Thank you.
The group starts going right, and you come to yet another fork in the road with 3 tunnels this time. And there's 3 tunnels, one to the left, one center, and one to the right.
Well,
Right.
but I thought he said left.
He
said
did
right.
not say left. We're going right.
But all right. Wait, is this This is not the same section of the sewer system that we had been in. Okay.
No. Ohana might have snuck through here that one time she ran away for cutting an old lady, but some of this might be a little familiar.
I don't want to talk about that time.
All right. You don't have to, I guess. You've been so
So
chatty lately. I'll
we
let
make a second right.
All right, you make your
Yes.
second right. You come across yet another 3-part intersection, and there is left, center, and right again.
We're going right.
Third right.
All right. As you come to the third right,
Now hold on.
you find a dead end.
Is there a symbol?
Make a perception check.
What do you think?
That was aggressive.
Is that cocked?
Was that really loud?
Alright, so that's a
It looks
23.
like one was up.
23.
4.
16.
Tyrion
9.
goes to take a step again, and then he sees something just plops at his feet before him, and he's distracted looking around. Right
Sorry, that was me.
Oh my God.
You, though, as you see Tyrion back off, you see by his feet toward the ground the symbol.
There it is.
Hey.
You guys do anything?
Do we stay here? Do we leave it against the wall and then hide, or what do we do?
I'd say let's leave it against the wall and then get a bit of a distance away.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
I believe that's the plan.
We do that.
Okay. You guys leave it against the wall. You guys all stand
And
out.
then let's go down the pathway that we did not go down. Like trying to keep things in sight, but not the way that we would expect somebody to come from. At least not the way we came from.
So it's only one side. It's all sewer on one side, and so you guys would have to get in the
Mhm.
sewer and then walk
Ah,
the opposite side right now.
Oh.
There's a little cliff area right now where you've dropped it down. So it's like it's a straight path. Like someone walking
Oh,
down,
okay.
they're gonna run right into you.
and let's back away.
Can we be invisible? Is that an option? Can we do that?
You see, Zeph's with you, by the way. He's just very quiet.
Zeph, can you make us invisible?
I'm already invisible.
Holy what? Where'd you go?
Yeah, in dim light, he's invisible. So you
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's
Yeah.
the stalker thing.
So fucking cool.
All right. So
Well, how about we go back out through the entrance and kind of make some distance, and Zeph, you stay here and keep an eye out,
As
and
you
I'll
guys are saying
just
all this, you hear the wall where you dropped it open up. And you see this, like... And you see 2 little cloaked figures come out. They got these beaks. Here! Ass!
Hey.
And
Hey.
do I see a symbol on them?
What?
Do I see a symbol on them?
They just have black cloaks on right now, and they just pulled out the wall.
Wait,
where the
are-
symbol was.
Are they walking away?
They just walked out from behind the crate, the chest where you just dropped it. They pulled out the wall, and now they're trying to take the crate.
Hey, stop!
And you see them both, and they start pulling the thing in faster and faster.
Okay, I'm gonna cast command at 2nd level.
Alright.
So they have to make a wisdom save of 16. I'll just say stop!
Sure. Oh, Jesus, guys, come on. Wisdom. That's a nat 3 and 5.
Let's go.
You see them, stop. You hear it in your voice.
I'll run up and grab the chest.
Yeah, run up. Well, I gotta run up. I'm just gonna go like inspect them for a symbol.
I sit on the chest.
As you guys, you sit on it. You recognize these as Kenkus.
Yup.
The two Kenkus in their hoods are going, stop! As you are inspecting them and putting their hands back.
You guys gotta show us the symbol that we can't let you take this.
At that moment, you hear a familiar voice say, "Nobody move." And you hear just some out of the water, a cloaked figure comes.
Whose voice is it?
As it comes into the light, you guys recognize this as Salem.
Oh, hey Salem, how you doing?
Oh, you guys are here!
Yeah.
Oh, you're so early! It's like 9 a.m. I didn't expect you guys to get into way later. You see Salem, he looks a little weathered, a little older. Not too much from when you last saw him, but you can see there are some tired eyes under this boy's face. And he's very shocked to see you all here. Why are you here? And you see the Kenku's like, Salem comes over.
Why are you
and he
here,
just
Salem?
he steps over the chest on the side that you're not like sitting. You're like sitting on the middle of it, but he steps over a little bit, steps over the Kenku, and he goes, "I'm just," as he puts the Kenku's face into the chest, and he's putting the hands around. You see manacles coming out, clapping it onto him. I am tracking Xandathar. As he puts that one down, and he comes over to the other Kenku. No, fuck this! And he starts trying to run away. And he grabs him. No, and he puts that down. And he looks at him and just like he takes up the Kenku and he's holding him right now like the Kenku like in the hand with the chains. So, did Xandathar come looking for this? It's here early. You're not a parrot. I know you're not a parrot. Did you talk to a parrot? Did a parrot give you this information? Stupid. You hear that from the Kenku? As he picks up the two Kenkus and puts them in the corner, I've just been all over the place, and I finally got back in town just last night. We've had some crazy dealings in the north, and I was back trying to find Xandathar. He is seemingly missing, and his minions are no help. So stupid. You see, look back over to the Kenku. Anyway. This is unbelievable. I haven't seen you in forever. It's so good to see you all. And he starts hugging you guys and giving you handshakes.
I'll drop my disguise.
Delight. Yeah, he definitely wasn't hugging you, but he saw the other people, and he's looking around. Where's Eulyrus?
We're not really sure right now, but we do know that he's alive.
Oh.
At the very least. We've been through a lot.
Yep, we've got a long story, and this is definitely not the place to get into it.
Right. You will have to tell me that over dinner tonight. I insist. All right.
Sounds good.
Let's go in here. This is a Xandathar hideout. So, as he walks into here, you see this very cramped, very low room, like it's Kenku sized, and he's squatting in here right now.
Oh, God.
And he's looking around like, all right, I've been tailing this for quite a while, and you surprised them, apparently, bringing whatever it is that you guys have. What do you have? What's in the box?
We have no idea.
We don't know. We didn't look. We were just told to deliver it.
Yeah.
And
we
then
wanted to
get
see
a bunch of money.
No, we wanted to see who would be receiving it and make a judgment decision then.
Right. Well, it's delivered, and is now property of the Grey Hand. As he's going through
Perfect.
all the stuff in here, you see all these just like bird droppings and like just a jar of worms that they were eating, just uncivilized.
Did Tyrion ever find the symbol on either of the Kenku?
I was searching for
Give me an
them
investigation
for that symbol.
as you were searching them. As you see Salem inside the room looking around, let's do his investigation check.
13.
You didn't see it on their persons, but you see Salem toss out a couple rocks outside. It's like, this is what you're looking for? And you can see the same symbols, the Thieves' Cant symbols that you were originally looking for.
Perfect.
Okay.
They didn't have much on them in here. As you see him dusting himself as he comes out. This is just basically a holding for dead drops, I would imagine. But now that we know, they know, it's probably not going to be used anymore. Oh well. As he closes it, I was hoping for a bigger score than this. I had good intel that there was something interesting. People are rushing around trying to get something of grave importance to Xandathar.
Well, I mean, there is whatever's in this chest.
Alright, let's not open it here.
Okay.
I think the rest of us should get on our way, get back to our employer and say we did the drop and saw it collected.
Right.
You
Best
should.
not to rouse in.
That is our story. We
And
did the drop.
Right into their hands. We're stupid. This isn't going to work if you're going to do that all day. This isn't going to work if you're going to do that all day. Oh no. Oh no. Stop.
We can meet up with you at the bar later.
Yes. There's much to talk about. Talk about stupid.
All right,
Okay.
let's make our way back.
Gags it is. Gag. Yes, he starts tying up the Kenkus. You guys make your way back. You go to the docks ward. You're able to find the individuals there. Tell them the story, and each of you are awarded 1,000 gold pieces.
Let's go! Easy money.
And you see him
We're
say,
doing good things.
Each of us?
Yes. Thank you all very much. I'm sure our guest or client will be very happy. And if you guys ever need work again, feel free to stop by.
All right. Thank you.
And you guys are now free to leave.
We're leaving.
Shall we go back home first?
Let's go to the
Hell
Go to the
yes.
So if you're going to the bar,
bar to specify.
you guys got to go through. You guys are in the North Ward,
I'm sprinting.
so you do have to go through the Castle Ward. Are you guys doing back alleys or just going a normal way?
Which is quicker?
We can go the normal way.
At this point,
We
can
live here. We're the heroes of the city.
That's true. We were a while ago.
Yeah, until we got lost for like 5 years or whatever.
All right, so you guys start walking through the streets, and like I said, Waterdeep looks really nice. The cobblestone is as you remember it, but everything has a fresh shine. You're seeing these armored soldiers from with different symbols on them. That not a lot of them, but you see here and there, their faces completely obscured. It seems like you can't. There's no flesh, so you can't really tell if these are machines, automatons that you're used to in here, or actual creatures. You wave. It looks, but doesn't acknowledge you as it keeps walking by.
Weird.
You guys see Rowlmates. You see some of your favorite places that you frequented, some of the libraries that Ulyrus used to frequent, and some of the other characters. Zeph sort of taking in Waterdeep for the first time as he looks around at everybody. But something catches your guys' eyes as you are getting closer to your place, just before you leave that area that was very heavy with all the libraries, which is close to your home. You see a new facility, and it is this big stone structure. It looks to have a bunch of pillars on it, large stairs. It seems like a whole bunch of houses were cleared out. Beautiful gardens, and all this artistry has been placed inside here. And on it says, I know the name, but I'm trying to think of the other thing. I have the name, but it's called a...
Chateau.
No.
What are you looking for?
Crane Monastery. You guys walk up just to take a peek?
Yeah, sure. New neighbors.
As you guys walk up the stairs, you see statues. A couple statues before leading in there. One of a female elf that has the title of what was it? Duty. Under that one, you see a statue of it looks like this older gentleman, and it says the healer. You see another one that looks a little more whack with a staff, and it says the hope. The other one, the other statue as you guys walk by, has another elf, and it says the survivor. There's engravings on these plaques, and it looks, as you guys get close to it, there seems to be monks walking all around the monastery on the outside, on the inside. It's all this pristine, like, silvers and grays all over this place. It looks very modern compared to the rest of the city. Is anybody
What was the name on the first statue?
The name on the first statue was
Duty.
no, but that was. But you're actually investigating. It was
No, I meant
was,
I missed it because I heard the other one.
Duty is the title.
Duty. Okay. I missed it.
Mm-hmm. Do you glance at what the engraving is on the statue?
Yeah, I guess as I go by all of them, I would glance at them.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
I'm guessing it's not written in
Natural
metal.
20.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. As you glance and it sort of catches your attention, you look a little closer at the scripture. It says duty. Cassandra, embodied duty for one's city, for one's world, and for one's country or kingdom. In her memory, the Crane Monastery was built in Waterdeep to show that no matter how big or small, people, normal people, can push the darkness back that tries to cover the world. Without her help, the world could not have been changed. And it has the year she lived to the year she died on it. With the natural 20, you glance over to the next one, and you see Mason D'Angelo. Or D'Angelo. The healer. A concerned citizen, someone who cared about his people, helping and aiding those around them inside his city, dared stand up to those who tried to oppress them, giving his life for a cause he believed in. Mason D'Angelo lives on through the Crane Monastery and the people he helped save to oppose the darkness. The one behind that, Narbeb the Shrubber.
The Shrubber.
What was his title again? Hope. Giving hope to the hopeless in a time of absolute darkness. Narbeb stood as a quirk that kept it even those in their darkest hours smiling. His strength in the arcane helped save those who got dire information to Waterdeep and all those in the kingdom of Tool. The survivor, Torleaf taking up residence inside Waterdeep, Torleaf, help save not only Waterdeep, but the world of Atul from the clutches of darkness and evil, helped push back the Kobold Assault, and was integral to the defeat and execution of Mansoon.
Excuse me. Say what? Whoa.
Someone should watch the one shot.
Yep. They didn't know.
Oh, that's part of it. My lord.
Yeah, we killed Mansoon.
Plot twist.
As you look, there's a giant plaque dedicated, and it says to the Crane Society for pursuing knowledge and truth above all. In memory of Cassandra. It has her last name. I just don't have her last name in front of me.
It was like Uradithis or something like that.
Well, that's the down. Yep, that's on.
Nerd.
Her bravery to stand up against the greatest darkness of the world helped light come out on top and vanquish the evil of Mansoon.
You guys are reading that, right?
I guess I should, yeah. Looks pretty cool.
Looks like these people were heroes.
It looks like
Yes.
Mansoon was killed? What?
Wait,
That seems hard
Who?
to believe.
What?
wait, you mean the big claw dude?
Yeah, big metal arm blew up
Yeah.
a boat on us.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He's dead?
We've missed a lot, it seems.
We gotta talk to Salem.
At least we don't
All
have
right.
everything.
Yeah. To the bar, then to Salem.
As you
Yeah.
guys get to the bar, you notice it's looking all right. It's not as lustrous as it once was when you guys were there.
I immediately go behind the bar and start polishing it.
As you burst in, you startle Matthew Mercer,
Oh, hey, Matt.
who's in there. Oh my God, they're here! You see Liv. They're back! You see Liv. Oh, they're back! And there's not many people inside here.
That's
there's
a ghost.
few,
It's fine. We'll bring
But
Oh, yeah. He's a friend.
But what you have noticed is all throughout the bar, painted on all the walls are monuments or memorials or like, you know what the graffiti they do in cities?
Yeah.
All over the walls is you guys and different stuff. It appears that Ivana painted all of you guys in all sorts of beautifully artistic scenes all throughout the bar while she was missing all of you. So the whole place is dedicated to each and every one of you and the interactions that she had, and at least from here she painted all inside here, and different statues were made. Remember those clay pots? And there was actually statues made of each and every one of you guys that are still clay and not hardened into the full statues, but they're in there. One for you, Lyris, and there is actually someone looking at the Lyris statue as the other ones. They're all laid out in the back room behind the wall, and there's a few people looking in there, but there is an individual in a gray hood just staring toward one of the statues.
Gray hood?
Yes.
Who's that?
Do you want to approach? As you're behind your bar, everything's just as it is, and Lift's like,
Oh, this is perfect.
so good to see you, Charnook.
Oh, I've missed you.
I've missed you. It feels like an eternity.
It has been
Is
too
it-
long.
Is it obvious that the statue is Eulyris?
Yes, very obvious.
Okay.
She is very talented.
Go.
Ivana.
Alright, I'll go saunter over to this
I'll
individual.
step over with Tellius.
Yeah.
All right.
Excuse us.
You see the hooded figure turn towards you, and you see an an aging elven face looking at you.
Did you know him?
Who's that?
Eulyris.
Oh, yes. Yes, I certainly knew you, Lyris. Who might you all be?
We were his
And she
traveling
looks at the
companions.
statues and she's like, "Oh my." Because you're disguised still, right, Tellius?
No, I dropped it
Okay, you dropped
after we
it,
met
okay.
Salem.
Oh, it's Salem.
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yep.
And you see her look to all of you like, "You." She stands up in her chair. "You were with my son. You're the ones that were with you, Lyris.
Yeah.
Is he here?" You see this hope in her eyes, this just mother's concern.
We have good news and bad news.
You see her, like, instantly, like, break off, and this coldness and this distance is instantly formed between you all at that.
He's alive and well.
Yes, he's alive and well.
He's recovering.
We just don't know where he is.
What do you mean? You lost him?
It would be more
Sort of.
accurate to say that he saved all of us.
Yes.
He saved us and was nearly fell, but at the very last moment was whisked away by a guy.
Shadowy figure at best.
You guys don't know. You don't know.
It's some sort of shadowy figure.
Something whisked him away before he fell, and we've confirmed that he's alive.
Yeah, we've
But
contacted him.
we have nothing more.
How did you confirm that? Did you talk to him?
Yes, with the magic.
Can you
A magical message.
Can you
Yes,
see
a
if
magical
he's
message.
still okay? Does he need us?
He said he was healing up after the confrontation we had, and after everything he did to save us. And he didn't say he knew where he was, so we're still unsure.
So you just nod and think of other things.
He's a smart lad. I'm sure he'll figure out where he is. Shouldn't take him too long.
Certainly.
Smartest person I ever knew.
Me too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope you don't mind, since I've grown accustomed to this town. I come by every now and then. This wonderful woman, Yavanna, who used to run this establishment, she let me look. If you wouldn't mind, I'd still like to see my son from time to time.
Everyone is welcome here.
Yeah, we like to keep it open.
I hope you said it with that.
You said used to run this establishment? Does she not anymore?
I haven't seen her for over a year. She left quite a time ago. She had other things to do.
Yeah.
I didn't ask her. We all have our burdens to bear.
Right. Well, we are back now for the time being, so feel free to, peruse. We like to keep it open to visitors as best we can, so.
Certainly. She's just holding herself at this point. It is some news, which is good news. I will be off.
How did you get out of Waterdeep?
Get out of Waterdeep?
Or, I mean, Skobahan.
How would you even know that?
You mentioned that.
Oh, his mom.
Yeah.
We knew
You know
she
it's-
lived in Skoverheim.
Yes.
Yes.
And we knew that there was a conflict there.
Yes.
Do we
making
even
sure
know that this
it's all-
person
yeah,
is
I want-
Skobahan?
I think
that's
he
the
knew.
approach. Ulyrus would have told them because he was concerned. That came up when he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh fuck, a civil war! Oh no!"
Yeah.
We were lucky. My family and friends, we got out ahead. I used to work directly with some of the higher ups inside Waterdeep or Skoberheim. I've been here so long, it seems like when you talk of home, Waterdeep is my home now, not Skoberheim. I used to do work for many digs. It's where Ulyrus caught on to the same passions I'd had. We got out maybe 2 weeks before the fighting started.
Well,
He had mentioned he was really concerned when we had learnt of the news of the Civil War.
Yes. Well, it's funny. I was extremely concerned, but a little happy that he was always close to home. But then my concerns, as years went by without any messages from him, a mother can only worry.
I mean, Terrence, you could probably tell him that his mom's okay, couldn't you?
I could do that,
If you wouldn't mind.
certainly. Hi, Lyris. It's Tellius again.
That's fine.
We made it back to Waterdeep. Met your mum. She misses you. And we let her know that you're okay. So, that's good news, right?
There's a long pause, and you're all just looking there, and Fi's just staring at you guys like, tell me anything about my son. And then you hear a reply. Tullius, it's wonderful to hear from you. I'm so overwhelmed. There's so many books here.
He's in heaven.
I cannot comprehend the things I'm reading. Tell my mother I love her, I miss her, and I'm okay.
He said he loves you, he misses you, and that he's okay.
Tears start to well up a little bit, but then go away. Well, even if you're lying to me, that's all right, because that's what I needed to hear.
I could never lie about someone that saved my own life.
And now you do see like a single tear and like the side smirk she was trying to keep in, and a little tear comes down, just like, oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
DM question.
Yes.
I've met Fi, right?
Your mom?
No.
Or... Oh shit! Yeah, but you're not in the room yet. So yeah, you have. Ignatius has met Fi.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
That's
he was
so
in the
wild.
car.
He was in the one shot. He was on the ship with Ophelia.
Oh shit! Get him in the room!
Oh, we have someone else we'd like you to meet. He's been traveling with us for a few weeks. Hey, Ignatius, come here.
He reminds me a little bit of Ulyrus for some reason.
He's not at all like you, Lyris.
All right. So do you come in the room, Ignatius?
Yeah. What's going on?
As you walk in the room, you see the familiar face of Fi, and both of your jaws drop as a long bond that was shared over a very traumatic time just hits, and the shock of seeing somebody else that survived what is so hard to describe and so difficult to believe. The two of you just embrace each other with a hug as you come together, and she's like, "You're alive."
Yes. And you as well.
Yes, unbelievable as it is.
Everybody knows each other. It's so weird.
It's like Star Wars.
Oh wait, how do you know? How do you know each other?
He was on the same boat when we were escaping Tendorf.
Tendorf. What happened to Tendorf?
The statues that we saw.
Oh, those ones out back there.
Yes. They were dedicated to people who fought the Cobalt Alliance early and stopped damage from happening that might have ended everything.
Yeah. I was with them when we escaped. Many lost their lives in some grueling conflicts. with the wizard no longer with us, Mansoon.
We know him, yeah.
We
We
escaped.
knew of him. If he's gone now.
It's quite a relief off both Blackstaff and the Open Lord's mind. Off a lot of the people's minds as well, as he was used as a boogeyman of sorts.
Having met him in person, I can confirm. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't appreciate being exploded.
Yeah, it was
horrible,
Neither
horrid.
did we. Which reminds me of, I can't imagine how you survived, but we washed up upon the shore, Ignatius, and from there we retreated and tried to get the information to Waterdeep, but Mansoon, posing as Escott, captured us and used it as a plan to capture the Blackstaff. When the Blackstaff arise, he stole her Blackstaff. And if it wasn't for the lives of Cassandra, Torleaf, who survived, Nahmeb, and I don't remember
The most important character
Yeah,
of that
the
one
guy
shot.
you made 5 seconds before the one shot.
The one shot guy that didn't survive.
His
I
name
made
was
his I made his name 5 minutes before starting the
Mason
one
died
shot.
before.
It was Braun.
Bronze, yes.
Because he was in the second one shot.
Okay.
Good old
They
Bronze.
gave their lives, and Torleaf saw it through, and we were able to summon, buy enough time for L'Oreal to show up and finish off Mansoon.
Wow.
Open Lord Waterdeep.
Glad more survived the ordeal. That's hopeful for the future with what can be accomplished.
I would bring joys of hope. The North has survived the final assault. There's some band of adventurers that have brought a life into the North. An alliance has been struck between Waterdeep, the North, and some strange creatures from lands far away. Are you familiar with... Oh, you must have been. You're from Skoberheim, like me. The lizard folk. There's lizard folk that aren't maddened like what we saw. And they're aiding the North. They are strange people up there, but...
I have a feeling they'll get along well with the Northerners for some reason.
Apparently so.
It's a match made in heaven.
That's a change.
Yes, so it's been quite a lot since you've all been gone. Why were you gone so long? Why were you gone for years?
We were stuck in a mountain fighting a demon.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh? I imagine you won.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, congratulations.
Well, most of us did.
She just nods towards the solemn remark. And you hear a door open. Where are my friends?
Who is it? Who is
You
it?
hear Salem screaming.
I throw him a drink.
There they are, the heroes of Waterdeep. Each and every one of you, it's so good to see you. Did you find what you were looking for? Is Shalmir going to be okay?
Not yet.
No.
Well, I mean,
Maybe. Kind of. Sort of.
we found what we were looking for, but we.
Oh.
I mean, I'm afraid.
Oh, the North
I'm afraid.
and Waterdeep are connected. We could go see it right now. But we don't know
I'm afraid last week. I mean, we tried to reach out, but I'm afraid our compatriot who sent us on this voyage, a lizard, that lizard folk Eve. I'm worried that she's no longer with us. I mean, we tried reaching out multiple times, but the magic never went through. And as far as I'm aware, that typically means they're no longer with us.
I saw
Even
with
that-
her eyes. Eve, yes, of course. She's that the
What?
lizard folk. She's unconscious in the North right now.
That will do it.
What?
Wait, the north.
We got
Why is she
there.
in the north?
Well, there's whoa, okay, sit down, come to the table as he drags you over, Matt, just like,
All right.
he's
All
so
right.
happy.
Everyone needs a debrief.
We need drinks.
Sit down.
Drink.
I can give you drinks.
You see, Liff, I was saving it for just the occasion. There's a special tub of drink he's been saving, and he just it's a big fucking barrel of just high quality
Yes.
alcohol.
Yes, Liv, thank you.
At this, you see some of your neighbors, some of the jealous ones. You remember that you ran out of business companies. Like, oh, they can't be back. They are. They are. And he runs out.
Wait, did you want anything?
You guys sit down, and over the course of this meal, you start to become filled in on the ongoings of what happened in time. Whatever you want to ask Salem, now is the time, and you can converse to see what's going on.
But so regardless of what we ask Salem or not right now, that we're role playing, like after this conversation, we're just gonna have
The knowledge
Normal.
of what's going on.
Yeah,
normal,
so we can
general.
we can role play a bunch of stuff, and then you can
Right.
give the general shit, so we don't have to talk about literally everything.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
can-
that's all I wanted
So
to
just
make
have
sure.
whatever you want to talk about.
Alright.
You think is gonna be fun? Let's do that.
So the north
Okay.
is
Oh,
connected
all
to
right.
Waterdeep.
So, short story. We got teleported to a place. We read into this underground city that was above, like, the dwarves and the halflings and the gnomes, and it was like super mechanical and clockwork. And we came out of there.
He stops you for a second.
Read.
Give me your black box.
Oh, here.
And you see him take that, and he has another one. He gives it back to you because he was prepared to shit. He knew you were here.
We ran into this giant lizard thing called a Ragnorum. He was very bad, very mean. He's very powerful. He chased us. We tried fighting him. That didn't work out. So then we ran downstairs. Tellius was like hurt for a while and like corrupted with that madness.
Great times.
Purpley stuff.
Yep.
And then we ran into this giant angel who was taking us to the Paragon of Light. We went through the Feywild for a day.
We met the Seder King.
We met the Seder King character
Now,
who
whenever
gave
I hit
us
people,
stuff.
it chimes and it's annoying.
Your chair falls.
Oh, you bastard!
And then this angel teleported us to a new place that was in a tool, and then we went through. We ran into Xanathar's brother, Tharnazan.
What? What? We've been looking at him forever. He's the only rational brother in that group.
Wait, there's more than one?
There's 5.
Oh god.
Well, it's a good thing we ran into him. We became buddies.
You're friends with him?
Yeah, and Tim Tom. Don't forget Tim.
Friends is a strong word.
I don't know
He
what
saved our lives.
Convenient allies.
But he
Alright.
didn't try to kill us, and he tried to help us once.
That's amazing.
Yes.
This
Well,
is
a couple
great
times.
news. He might be able to help us out with. Right. So, and then he takes out of his pocket and puts the stone on the table. This was in the inside the box.
Was the box trapped?
Yeah.
Oh, did anyone get hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Who got hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, Salem. Why didn't you check for traps?
Yeah. I don't know. I said the same thing as soon as I checked.
Salem!
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. We have measures. The good news is that sense of confidence I get lulled into when we're in our shop. We have cures for stuff like cyanide gas. Good for me.
I don't know what that is. You know.
Good to know. I'll think again before I take a box from you guys. I just even
It
you would
wasn't,
deliver
you
me-
know, to be fair, it
Right.
wasn't from us.
Exactly. It makes perfect sense, but I wasn't thinking. Regardless, Blackstaff is not currently here right now. She's in the north. And
Yeah.
I am very curious why Xanathar was having something like this delivered to him.
What is it?
And I can't fucking identify it.
What is it?
Can any of you identify it?
What is it?
It's a stone.
I'm sure I could identify it if I were given proper time and maybe a bit more experience. But as of right now, no.
Can I discern the nature of this object?
Give me an Arcana check.
You know what, Tyrion? You're looking absolutely strapping today. You definitely could. Yeah, I think you'll be spot on today.
Bardic inspiration.
You're inspired.
Okay. What's your inspiration?
D8.
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 8.
Roll high.
Does it look familiar to me?
Ooh, I like that. 22.
22.
Nice.
I got an 8 on the inspiration.
Oh, let's go.
This helps. I believe the pronunciation is. This helps find sericalcums?
Simulacrums?
Simulacrums. Thank
Wait.
you.
Homunculi.
Fake people.
Yep.
I don't know what that is. Exactly knows what that is.
This is interesting. I've read a bit about devices. It's a finding type device that helps you locate specific things. This one, based on these runes, it appears to be attuned to be looking, at least from what I can tell, to discern simulacrums or magically created copies of a person.
So who would that help us find? Is there anyone like
No
that?
idea.
Okay. Well, what about... I gotta roll for this for myself. What about the Xanathar and its brothers? Would that help with that? Are they simulacrums?
Not from my understanding of beholders, not really. This is more. It'd be like if Orhana created a little clockwork soldier and then put a skin around it to make it look like a mini Orhana. But instead of doing it physically like that, you do it purely through magic. That's kind of what a simulacrum is.
Alright.
It's not so much with beholders, they magically create their, I guess you could call them siblings, but it's not through the casting of a spell. It's something to do with beholders themselves and their own ties to the arcane.
So why would Xanathar need this? Who's he looking for?
Beats me.
What do you think, Salem?
Uh-oh. I know where Xanathar is.
Where is he?
He's in the vault.
Oh.
What?
Waterdeep?
Are you talking about a phylactery?
What?
Yes.
A phylactery, not a simulacrum.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay, that's different.
I looked up the meaning
it's a
of
very
it.
different thing.
Fuck, I can't say it. Yep.
So instead of everything I just said, I would have explained what a phylactery is.
Yep. That's what I meant. It sounded so similar. I'm like, is that the same thing?
No, it's not.
I just looked it up and I'm like, nope, phylactery.
Phylactery.
Ooh. Oh. Yeah.
I don't really
The
want...
vault.
If they take each other out, is that the worst thing in the world? What happens if the ghost down there dies? What happens if Xanathar dies?
I'm gonna take that back.
What if we let them duke it out? I mean,
I'm gonna let Blackstaff and L'Oreal know that I think I know why I can't find Xanathar.
Is he dead?
He would be in that dimension that the vault's in.
Oh, I forget it's in a pocket dimension. So many dimensions. Just get whipped around all over space and time nowadays.
Right, alright, that's a problem for another day. Okay, let's keep catching up.
Okay, where was I? Oh, so we got to this abandoned temple where we met Tharnazand. we got through the remaining challenges of the temple that he wasn't able to make it through, and we ended at this place that was the location of the Paragon of Light.
Oh.
We activated the mechanisms to free it, and then that fun guy Ragnorm showed up and attacked us.
He's not.
We were able
He's
to
really not fun.
take the actual, like, we were able to obtain the Paragon of Light and escape.
It's an orb.
Oh.
It's an orb of harmony.
Oh.
It's the air one. Ragnorm's at the air temple though, so we can't bring him back there right now. I'm not trying to fight him. He's no thank you.
If
Yeah,
he's
he's bad
across the
news.
world with you guys, he has no reason to come here.
You know you say that, but he knows that there is a grass gem in. Wait, no, I wouldn't know that.
You would know that.
He would know that. He knows that there's.
Yeah, you were
something-
there when Ulyrus told him.
He knows that there's a
But
grass
Salem
gem.
doesn't know what the fuck a grass gem is.
The Titan Forge.
There's a
Right.
it's an important half of a gem.
Wait, is it half or is it a fifth? Because we just learned that there were 5 Titan Forges from the Valkyrie.
Well, because I think that we got one half of the grass gem that was reforged at the forge near Phandalin,
Yes, that's what Shamia did.
and that's what the one we lost to Ragnorm, who currently possesses it, and he knows the other half is here somewhere in Waterdeep.
Yes.
Why would he know that?
Because
Because Ulyrus had a lot and told him.
You see Feist at the table?
well, you know,
Yeah,
he didn't
well,
really have much of a choice.
To be fair,
In his defense, he was literally like
dying.
he would have died if he
Yes.
didn't say the truth.
I
in
honestly
that
don't think he had the ability to lie to him.
He could have circumvented it, but that's besides the point.
Maybe, I mean, it depends
You're all
on what
debating
you
this, and
can-
she's just like thinking of the terror as you guys have been in detail describing how awful Ragnorm is, and how Ulyrus was always on death's door, basically in contact with this thing. Just like,
But
oh
he's
my
fine
god,
now. He's alright.
why did my son go with these people? This is insane. Salem's not phased by this. I'm going to have to reevaluate things.
Then we escaped. We got to one of the ports. Sailed across. We met this.
Hold on,
this-
you're not just gonna
this-
glaze over the restaurant at Old Town. It was easily the best establishment I've ever been to in my entire life. If you ever find yourself in Old Town, you need to visit the restaurant that's there.
All right.
It's fantastic.
He takes out a little book and jots a little note down. Taken.
We met this fine gentleman, Ignatius, and I gesture to him.
Oh yes.
I'm that fine gentleman.
I read about you in reports for the Pendorf incident. As you start seeing him like look over into his book and start scrubbing through, and you see Fi give him this look like we've already caught up a little bit, and he's like,
Yep.
"Holy shit!
I was in for parts of that.
Wow."
Eh.
This
We
is-
call him Ignatius the Gracious.
Oh, that's
Do
wonderful.
do we? Have we?
We do now.
We've never called him that. This is the first time we've ever called him that.
And now that's his name.
Oh goodness.
Could be worse. It's not bad.
We chartered a ship. Some weird storm magic happened, and
We got
we
teleported
did
by a god.
we did a thing. We fought a thing. We fought a
Completely
Valkyrie.
normal.
You fought a
We
Valkyrie?
fought a
She
Val-
killed all of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
we died.
We
all
were
died.
close though. I almost had it.
Yeah, I almost had it
I
too.
don't know. Honestly, it's kind of. I guess we died, but it's like.
But then it wasn't like an
Die in the
actual
game, you don't
fight.
die
It
in real
was
life.
just like a test.
Different planes. Who knows?
it was weird.
And then we just like magically circumvented thousands of miles.
Well, we do that every day now, so that doesn't surprise me. There's teleport circles set up between the Alliance of North and Waterdeep.
Right. It wasn't just us. It was the whole.
Oh,
That's something.
Yeah, right. And there was a lion, turtle, big turtle thing, dragon.
No, that's not a word in this
No.
world.
What is it?
It's a turtle. It's a big turtle.
There's a big monster turtle that
It's a
attacked.
turtle.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, huge.
but it left, so I guess we
Like
don't have
bigger than a boat.
Well, those are rumors that are now real again. He takes out his journal again. That's real. Okay.
And then, but like, we circumvented thousands of miles with the entire ship.
Yeah.
That was the weird thing.
It was a pretty seamless transition too.
I will ask some of the people at the Crane Monastery and some of the better clerics and religious folks in the area if they could explain.
Yeah. When did we get a monastery, by the way?
Are they nice? Did they like the bar?
They are wonderful, and most of them don't drink,
Oh,
but the few that are my favorite do.
what do you think? Talk into it. Are they friendly?
Yes.
All right, I'll make my way in.
I just have manners.
Oh, of course.
There's a great
You know
respect. Oh, well. I do. Oh, speaking of that, I promised a feast the next time we meet with our compatriots at foot of the mountain. Next time we're all together, there's a feast on me.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I love feasts.
Hey, we're good lads.
It says, oh, actually, their plan, and he starts filling you in on the plan, that they're right now going to find storm giants, that they are fighting the Kobold Alliance, the general battle plans that you guys knew, that
Wait.
they're trying to bail out.
Wait.
Yep.
Storm. They talked about them going to the storm. The
Wait.
doom.
Yeah, the Valkyrie
trial.
talks about that.
The Valkyrie
Yeah.
mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So I think they might be closer to the storm giants than we were expecting.
That's terrific news. Brian,
Think-
the King of the North, was not so... It can't be so formal. But she was not too sure. She could not find them before. And something about you, these groups. I just have the utmost faith in all of you.
just something.
But I am worried
There's
about how the
something.
gods play with each and every one of you. It is alarming to see such interest from greater powers.
Yeah.
Marionettes on their strings.
Honestly, it would be nice to just get on a boat and, have a good sail for a nice few months. But I guess we don't need to.
Well, there's always time for that once the war's over.
I hope so.
Because most of the seas are pretty locked down at this point.
It sounded like that crew was in the midst of trials similar to what we did.
Interesting. Well, I hope
Hopefully
they
they
don't
don't
die
have to
like you did.
Fight something.
But you said dying was good, so maybe they should die.
But no, it
it's
wasn't
not-
good. But it just we did like die. We like came back because it was a
Yeah.
test.
We beat it
We
pretty
passed the
good
test.
before we died.
Right.
We kind of passed the test, even though we all lost. It was a weird
Well, it's like-
situation.
We did
This
the bare
sounds very
minimum,
hard.
but
I
like
mean, we
we
could-
didn't do the best.
Yeah.
This sounds like cult stuff, I'm going to be honest with you.
It might be.
It
Because
felt
of the
like it.
definition.
It has to do with the storm and the will of the storm.
That doesn't
Right.
help.
Right, I'm not unpacking that. Okay. What else while you all are gone? Xanathar made a deal with the L'Oreal, trying to get the crime into in order. Since you guys annihilated the Zentirum and the... oh, jeez, it's been so long I don't even remember the other group.
The Xanathar?
Oh, no, they were the ones that dominated everything. There was another underground group. Escapes me, nor do I care. But he dominated it all, and we had to try and broker some deal that we allowed him to get some supplies and his own lair, and now he leaves everyone alone, and the crime is plummeted. He seemed to have gotten obsessed with something.
The Harpers? Is the Harpers?
No, Harpers are good guys in the lore of D&D.
Right.
What's her name's actually Sister Caroline's supposed to be a Harper.
Gotcha.
In the original Fanlin thing, but she's not. She's a Timor. So anyway, yeah. So that was strange. Now starting to make more sense. Right about that time, the crime went down. He disappeared, probably into the vault. So that's not great. That's been a while. No idea what he's been doing in there. Now I'm very curious. Again, another day with an army. Probably the best.
I mean,
I was over to the other continent in the jungle the other day. That was terrifying. I saw many lizard folk dead and dying, and we revived them. And monstrous creatures, Tellius, the dwarf you in size and strength. I
Strength 2?
Well, if you're as big as a few stories, I imagine you'd have a tougher time lifting up something as large as a boat.
Woo! Sheesh.
I mean, he might be able to do it with that cheetah belt.
What did you just call it?
It's a cheetah belt.
Mate, I'm just about as strong as you without the belt.
Yeah, well.
Oh, right. Enough of that. That reminded me. Ivana left.
Where'd she go?
Yeah, we did hear that.
She left to Minna to sort through things that she had to deal with. I was tracking her as best I could, but about a few weeks ago I lost complete touch with wherever she ended up going. In that same sense, actually, you jogged my memory. Do you remember the person we fought with named Eri at the mountain?
Is he the weird-looking guy?
Yes. It's gotten
Purple.
worse.
How much was?
His eyes glow now.
That's weird.
What?
Yeah. It's... I mean,
Is he
honestly, it's textbook evil person. But he's not. Which is nice.
Is he, though?
Well, that's what I said. You know,
Are you sure about that?
I
Yeah.
trust... Well, he's genuine with me. I genuinely trust him. It's whatever is there, I'm still skeptical of. Most glowing-eyed individuals I've encountered are Xanathar and the Lich. Not a great lineup so far,
Honestly, I could see
Yeah,
why you have bad
that's-
expectations.
but
That's like 2 for 2. Evil.
to be fair, he's done a lot of good. So, can't judge a book by a cover, right? Regardless,
I don't
Eve
judge books at all.
had the same markings on her when she came back very badly wounded from an attack from Minotaurs. Minotaurs and lizard
What if
folk
it's-
attacked them.
We noticed when
What
we
if
were
it's
fighting-
related to Ragnarok?
Yeah, when we were fighting him, the horde that was with him was mixed as well. In fact, they were my people.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But when we were in the room with Eliris, it seemed that some of them shook it off, albeit temporarily, and managed to hold Ragnornum back long enough for Eliris to escape. So even though they probably lost the war, at least they didn't go down without a fight.
That's a wonderful silver lining.
Oh, just a side, a digression. Darnazan?
Yeah.
He has a compatriot. You know how Xanathar has his goldfish?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. Thardazad has a, what's the name of that type of demon?
Golden.
It's a golden Bulgara.
Oh, yeah. He has a giant Baldura named Tim Tom.
And it's golden. It's not just a normal
Gold.
He's shy.
gold.
He's beautiful.
And speaks very eloquent abyssal.
The range of emotions of this news is a lot for him to take.
And they said,
Sorry.
I'm forgetting what he said of where he was thinking of going.
You didn't know that because Ulyrus only heard it.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
He was going to start a new life. That's what he did hear him say.
Yeah.
But Ulyrus knows exactly where he was going to. It's a mountain. Anyway.
Yes.
Oh.
Right, what I was saying.
Anyway.
Oh, Lyris might know.
The
We could find out.
the one called Eri gave a potion to that Eve creature that seems to be unconscious. He said it came from a person that we have known. He wanders the lands called Redoff. I imagine he would be the only one that could break whatever is going on with Eve right now. She can't really do much to help Shalmir unless she comes back. And the last we heard of Redoff, he's in Minna as well.
Binna.
That's where Ivana was last seen, yeah?
True? Yes. That's why you jogged my memory of both these things.
What's Minna like right now?
Impossible to get into. A war slave state fighting against a giant horde of madness lizard folk that flood the bottom at the Ivory Wall.
That's where the ivory tusks are.
Yes.
Fighting. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure if she'll wake up. Ares said he did, so maybe with time she will just wake up. But she did look a lot worse than what Ares described, especially because she took so much.
Damage?
Sure, that's one word for it. I'm hopeful she'll be able to walk again.
Well, I mean, she is a pretty strong cleric. If she wakes up, she might be able to make herself better.
That's fair. So we just gotta find a way to get her up. Right then. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Is there anything else you need to know? Any questions about other continents events that we might by chance know about?
These orb things are very troubling.
Right, I got information for the orbs about that. I got that for you, and I described to him the locations that we saw in the vision in the plane with the Valkyrie.
He writes them down and goes, "That's very important."
No, I got dibs on the one that's by Fandolin. That one's mine.
Yes.
I mean, I feel because now that we know where it is, don't you like have to go? Because that's kind of what the Lich did to you.
Right, so it's gonna hurt a lot if I try and go other places, but for you guys, I'll do anything.
Oh.
That was beautiful.
Well, I was just saying what's gonna happen.
Yes.
But it's your conviction.
It's just I look at it as a nice tattoo, nice little fancy scar. Helps me out with the ladies.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I'm wondering if we can parlay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just to let everyone know.
If we parlay with the Lich King again.
Oh, I don't wanna.
To get if we go, we can cut down time on time spent, because it sounds like we want to make another trip over to Fandolin, but it also has the other half of the grass gem. So if parlay, we can restore that while also obtaining the Orb of Fire.
And we also have the wind. Am I incorrect?
I don't want to show him that.
Okay, noted.
But
right.
he might be able to just know that you have it.
Don't bring it.
I am in favor of not going and talking to him at all, just because I don't trust him and I don't know what he can do.
You don't have to go with us.
I might just get a crowd in here and earn us some money while you guys go and do your thing.
You can entertain, take care of the bar.
It's really, I just want to see if we can get the grass, that other part of the grass gem, because we know where to restore it.
We should bring Lift too.
Yes, and be careful along these roads. We will have to help you because this is war. You're going into enemy grounds. The Cobalt Alliance owns all of Freya. It will not be an easy trip just to walk into Freya.
One does not simply walk into Freya.
We will, if this is this important, we will work to smuggle you in as easy as possible.
Yeah.
Will they push overs? Are the grunts just ripe for the taking?
Not anymore.
Oh man!
It seems like Escott is waking.
What do you mean?
He's been quiet in the last year. It was all but assumed that it was all over for everybody. With this resurgence of both you and your friends or acquaintances you met at the mountain, concern is growing in whether or not the Cobalt Alliance can hold on to the foothold they've built in the world. And from once was a passive, benevolent king, the Cobalt has started making rumors again.
Well, it seems like the Cobalt forces are doing people a lot of harm. So
It's an
we're
understanding.
gonna have to deal with them one way or the other.
Certainly. Waterdeep's all in and making sure that's our top priority. Taking out the Cobalt Alliance. If Escott falls, they all fall.
What's he like?
Never met him. He looks over to Phi. You are, I believe, the only person that knows, the only living person to escape Escott. Maybe we should have Torley visit them tomorrow. And that's where we're going to end tonight. And we can keep talking.
Shit.
Sailor would know otherwise.
What do you know otherwise?